Wrestling is one-on-one, mano-a-mano, a test of physical and mental strength against the best in the state and the nation. Clay's Garrison Weisner is not fazed or nervous by the circumstances, competition, or anything else.
You know, he told me the other day, like, I haven't been nervous since the 5th grade or something like that. And so he's very free emotionally.
I don't really ever get nervous.
Why would he?
If I do get nervous, I use those nerves to help me just living. So you might as well just go out there and push it as hard as you can, do the best, show everybody you can do something. You're wrestling for a reason, so might as well prove it.
He already has to the state of Ohio, going 45-8 as a freshman last season with a 4th place finish in D1 at 113 pounds. And he's proving it each day in his household.
I've always wanted to wrestle since I was little, and just gave me motivation seeing my dad. I know he wrestled, so move on his legacy.
His dad, Greg, went to Springfield. Garrison is smart enough not to say he could take his pops on camera, but good enough to take almost anyone that comes his way, continuing to improve as a sophomore at 120.
Way better, a lot better. I feel like I've evolved a lot. Stance, bottom, I wasn't as good on bottom.
He can attack from space very well, and so you can't stop moving your feet. You always got to be ready for something to come.
It works in practice too, because he works.
Garrison does a lot of the right things. You know, he works really hard in the practice room. He works really hard outside the practice room as far as getting extra work in, extra conditioning, strength training, things like that. And then he puts a lot of time into the sport during the postseason.
He's already had a taste of stop sign season, one of 3 Eagles competing at nationals in Fargo.
You have all the state champions from the season in the room, and you got just about every state placer from Ohio in. He's learning from other Hall of Fame coaches. And then it allows him to bring that back to the room, and that's something that he does really well.
Give back and put your opponents on their backs with no fear.
I tell the kids in the locker room every day they need to just go out there with ego and do everything they can, you know?
As always, happy to have Coach Cupperly here in studio to talk wrestling with us. Garrison Weisner, 18-3 this season. Being perfect in this sport usually means you're putting yourself up against the right competition and you're learning.
Absolutely. And Garrison's doing that. At the Maumee Bay Classic a couple weeks ago, I got the privilege to be able to commentate his match for BCSN, and he had a really tough match. And things didn't go his way, but I know that young man is going to learn from it. And when you wrestle the best, you're going to become the best.
What does he do well right now?
In my opinion, Garrison Weisner is the best guy in his weight class on his feet that I've seen. He is very good from the neutral position. And that being said, he's also very good defensively. He's very good at turning defense or his opponent's offense into scoring positions for himself.
When you say turning defense into offense, how does a wrestler do that? And what makes him so exceptional at it?
Well, he's very good at matching head levels with his opponent. So if his opponent attacks, he's down low in his stance. It's really hard to get under Garrison because he's so short and he's powerful, okay? And when you can't get under a guy, you can't get to his legs. And it's easy to fight him off. And as that kid's raising his level, Garrison's really good at penetrating and finishing on his leg attacks.
He carries himself with so much confidence. You heard at the end of that story, he said he wants all his teammates to come out with ego. And that's so much different than like every other area of our life, in the office, around the house. You don't want people walking around with ego. But why is that so important in wrestling?
You don't want to be cocky, but you want to have confidence. And I know Garrison has been wrestling since he's been a young man, real young. And he's confident because he's well-trained. And he knows what he needs to do to win. And that's a great thing. I mean, you got to have confidence in yourself if you got plans of placing in the state championships.
And you know what these guys need to do to win. Nobody we'd rather have talking about the sport with us here on Sports Nightly every week. But Coach, thanks for coming in.
No problem.